anytime you want to grade, and they make kind of.
nothing back.
I'm going live. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here, coming at you for another Addict Show. Today, obviously, we have a lot of spicy topics for you, man. We got Horizon Forbidden West scores and all the fiasco stuff that's going on with that. We got Xbox wants Starfield to be the best game Bethesda's ever made. And we got this Cyberpunk next-gen patch that I felt like was it was a joke. I didn't feel like it was real. But now it's here and it's real. And obviously I got my co-host with me, Hustle Morgan. What you been doing, Hustle?
I have been playing the game on PC. It's all the craze. Apparently, it came out in 2018, but it's an MMO. I think it's called The Lost Ark. I hope I got that right. I tried that over the weekend.
Cut the and just Lost Ark. And
it's Lost Ark.
Golden. Yeah.
Pardon me. Pardon my.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I'm a stickler for it. I don't know. I love that game.
But hold on, isn't there a game called Lost? No, it's a game called Ark. That's why I'm getting it.
Ark Survival.
Ark Survival. Yeah, it's a survival game.
Yeah, I tried.
The game you have to dedicate your whole life to.
Oh no, what? This is another game you got to dedicate your whole life to. Apparently,
no, not like Ark. Ark is ridiculous. You like, there's these things on Ark that you have to like tame animals, like these dinosaurs. And I remember Dizzy and John spending hours taming animals. Like, we're not talking like a couple.
Love that game.
We're talking like 15 to 20 hours. It felt like that's how long. And they would have to take turns. Like they would do one, and then John would come in like 5 hours later, and he would do it for a couple hours. Like, they've made adjustments since then, but it used to be like that.
That's crazy. No, yeah, Lost Ark isn't that bad, but Hustle, I mean, look, you're not the only one. Clearly, it's they said they had like 500,000 people have downloaded and played the game since it did this early access a week ago, and I'm one of them too. I got two characters in 3 separate servers.
I think I'm just going to work on this one server with the troubleshooters, and then we'll see what's what. But
which server are you in?
Ari? Is it Adrian?
Avesta?
No. ADDRINNE or something like that. I'm horrible with the names.
You guys might as well be speaking another language right now.
Hey, Addict, look, I'm still learning it myself, but I'll say if y'all haven't tried it, it's free to play. If you never played an MMO like myself, the only thing that I've come close to playing is Grand Theft Auto, and I know that's not a MMO, like, but it's just kind of different for me. But I'm like, I like the attacks and everything is on cooldown, and they got to fix the controller support. The second they fix the controller support, then we in there, because I can't type and do I just can't do it. I don't have the space for it. I just want to have the space for my arms and hands and stuff. So, but it's cool. Like, it seemed like it's going to be a fun, good time, and hopefully I won't uninstall it. Outside of that, man, I just been on my retro mode. We're talking to a few of the homies behind the scenes, and I'm just having fun with Super Mario RPG. And that playthrough will be coming through soon enough. Probably after Horizon Forbidden West, which I'll be getting next. Whenever the 25th is, whenever that is. I think that's the 25th.
That's what, so we got Slow-Mo Black Slap, man. What's been going on? What have you been playing lately? Let me guess. You've been jumping on that Destiny, getting ready for that Witch Queen, right? Is that what you do?
No, absolutely not. But no, I actually been playing Lost Ark like Hustle. Like I said, I got 6 characters on 3 separate servers. I've been enjoying that, man. Like, look, it's because like there's so many people that's just like, hey, I want to play Lost Ark with you. I'm like, oh, what server are you on? And they're on a different server than me, so I'm just like, all right, I'll just make a character, pick a class that I haven't already picked, skip the prologue, and then now I can actually play with people, and that takes like 10 minutes. So it's not like I've put in like hours of time in 6 different characters. I've only put in like maybe hours of time in 2. So and one of them is my main on the server that I chose, and another one I chose with the homie Elder Cat, Cat Daddy Lurk. Me and him been playing it. He's far ahead of me at this point.
When Cat, like, when he grinds, he grinds.
Like, he grinds, yes. Like this man, I was like, yo, what level you at? He said 21. I'm like, 21. I just got started. So I've been playing that. I've been playing Sifu. I've been playing more Hades as usual. I have Hades on every platform. I've been playing Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition. I'm about to finish that up on PlayStation. And I actually did earlier today the Leviathan DLC, which is really good. And then I'm currently doing the Omega DLC with the DLC where you're helping Arya to get Omega back. So it's pretty fun. I've been having a good time playing like a gazillion games as usual.
That's what's up. So
yeah,
I've been pretty much playing. I played a lot of Sifu. I didn't beat it. The game's good, but I can honestly say that like it's not resonating with me like other games. Like it is a fun game and I enjoy it. Yeah. But man, like I got to the third area at like 22, and there's nothing in that really like gravitates me back towards it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like this game is so amazing, but at the same time, it's so many missed opportunities. And
yeah, I guess that does happen with games that are like
I got some questions though.
Indie devs, that don't have all the resources. Yeah.
Well, okay. Slow Mo had brought up the point. Slow Clap. Jesus, that's not confusing at all. So Slow Clap is an independent developer. It sounds like you see a lot of potential in there if they actually had like a budget behind them, by the sound of it. At it.
I thought you were talking to Slow Mo.
No.
I feel like this game, whoever funded this game, like I don't know if PlayStation just bought timed exclusivity or they funded it, but if they funded it, they should be ashamed of themselves because you should have gave these people more money because they clearly had a gem. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like you get this unique ability where if you die, you age, but they don't really have a whole lot of explanation of how you got this ability. They kind of show you, but kind of don't at the same time. You know, there's no cinematics in it whatsoever, really. So, like, pretty much the game is rotated to where it's a revenge story. You're going against this group of people that did something to you in the past when you was a kid, and you grown up, and now you want revenge. But when you come across even the person that tried to kill you, there's no real like connection of you upset with that person. You know what I'm saying? You just walk in the room like
one line.
You just walk in your room, just snap your knuckles, pretty much like let's go. Like so, it's just
when you beat him though, he does say like I've been waiting X amount of years for this moment. Like he does say one little thing, but it's like no budget.
I'm gonna go back eventually and beat it. I'll probably give like I'll probably do a video on the IOP channel. Talking about the game as it is now, because I haven't played the fourth. I think there's 5 regions. I haven't played the fourth.
Yeah,
but it's a good game, man. I just wish they would have put more not effort, but more money behind this. Whoever funded it, because like there's not really a whole lot of damage that's done on the body either. So it's just like, imagine what was that Fight Club game back on like the PS2, remember, where it would show you breaking limbs and stuff? Like, imagine stuff like that. If the game looked better too. Now, I'm not saying the game doesn't look bad because it has a unique art style, but I do feel like if they could have put a little bit more time and money behind the looks, it would have went a long more way. But, it's
I do kind of feel that the art style was chosen on purpose, so that it could kind of like, because that kind of particular art style can last longer than other art styles. Like if someone tried to go for a photorealistic look, and then like usually you see developers do that like 5-6 years later, you just like that don't look very photorealistic no more. But when you have a particular art style, like when people go for cel shaded graphics or like a comic book style thing, then like it works. Like it stays pretty timeless. But like I was playing A Wolf Among Us the other day, and that game came out in 2013, and it still looks good today because it went for a comic book aesthetic instead of like for the realism. So
and I like that that company came back, Telltale. I always liked Telltale. When they shut down, it genuinely hit me. Like I was like, damn, because I really enjoyed their games, and I'm glad that they're back. It's just like when it comes to Sifu, it's like, they have something good. They really do. And if Sony isn't negotiating them with a like an exclusivity on their sequel, I don't know what Sony doing, because if that team had a proper budget where they could actually make something, I feel like they could make that Sony template better than ever. Because that combat is some of the best combat that's in gaming right now.
I'm more impressed at the fact that they sold 500,000 so quick. They outsold Returnal like damn near immediately.
Well, that's because Returnal came out and it was broken and shit. So.
I mean, still for all intents and purposes, they came and outdid a AAA developer or first party developer at that point. So something to be commended.
I don't know about like Sony's relationship with Slow Clap. I do like they have time. It's a timed exclusive, so they of course they probably paid them some money to get like whatever time period it is, if it's 3 months, 6 months, whatever. But I do recall their first game, which was Absolver, was a timed exclusive on Xbox for a short period of time before it went to PlayStation as well. So they may not have any kind of relationship with either platform, but outside of just, hey, look, here's our game, and then it's Sony saw Sifu and was like, hey, look, we'll kick in some money, maybe the money that was your development cost in order to get this for a time exclusive time period. But I mean, it's going to show up on Xbox real soon.
And I'll probably wait for then. I'm gonna wait for that Game Pass. That Game Pass. Now I'll probably, if it comes out on Xbox, I most likely will buy it there too, because I do feel like the franchise is phenomenal. Whatever they do next with this Sifu thing, even if they don't make like a direct sequel, like keep the foundation in this game and make something else like it. Like you have something here. I don't know what it is, but you got something. And
can you imagine the possibilities though, Addict? Think about this. Think about that combat with like Final Fight or Double Dragon or something like that, or Mortal Kombat. Like think what like another IP with characters that people care about with that.
Imagine if they did a co-op game with that, where like you could do like co-op fights and stuff. Like it's just like, I really enjoy it. We don't want to go too much into this, but they need to really, someone needs to pick this studio up. Like, and I'm never really vocal about stuff like that. People are clowning on me and making the Capcom video that Microsoft might buy Capcom. Like, it is what it is. I wanted to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it. You guys need to stop trying to dictate what I make videos about, because you ain't going to win. I'm going to win that fight every single time. I'm going to make a video about you guys trying to win that fight, but you still lose.
You got it.
It is what it is. So, let's go on to the first topic, man. Let's discuss either the Horizon Forbidden West meta score and the fiasco that's going on with that. We could talk about Starfield, our expectations, and the fact that Microsoft and Phil Spencer particularly wants this game to be Bethesda's best game. Or we could talk about Cyberpunk, man. What do you two want to talk about first?
Well, I say we let our guest pick.
All right. You want me to pick?
Yeah, you're a guest over here, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I think let's get the shorter topic out of the way quickly. I think Cyberpunk. Yeah. Let's go ahead and knock that one out of the way. People have been knocking that game out of their storage devices on their consoles, because I don't think too many people are going to be checking this one.
Let me set it up. All right. For those of you that don't know, Cyberpunk was one of the most buggiest games in existence that came out. They kind of went underground for a while. Would you not agree they went underground? Like, they didn't really say a whole lot. They did exactly what we told them to. Shut up and go fix the game. They went and done that. Now, I have been told, I haven't personally downloaded the patch yet, because I'm still debating if I want to go play it again, but we'll see. So if you look at it, I saw the comparisons. There is a comparison, and they said they fixed a lot of bullshit that was going on with that game. So my question to you guys is, first off, have you played the Cyberpunk update? And two, do you think it's too late for them to do anything with this game? We'll start with since Slow-Mo picked the topic, we'll start with Hustle.
All right. Have I played the new bugs and patches yet? No. I actually thought I had the game downloaded on my PC, but I didn't actually. I uninstalled this joint a while back. So I'm installing it now as we speak. Yeah, I know. No, that joint's pretty bad. I got like 3.5 hours in, and it just wasn't ideal for me. Now, will anybody care about this in this stage of the game? Nah, because it's too much that's going on. Like, Horizon about to drop next week. If you're a Nintendo fan, the Kirby game about to drop in March. and so on and so forth. God of War just dropped on PC. Uncharted about to come out. Oh, well, Uncharted is out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's over. It's over. Whatever goodwill that they had, this joint can come out to be a masterpiece, man. Whatever goodwill that they had, people will get to it once they get to it. If they're like me and they didn't bother doing a refund, they can still get the chance. If they don't have the game, they can still get it for cheap. And if they didn't do a refund, they'll just play it whenever they feel like it. But I don't think this brings people back.
The good thing, Hustle, is they actually did like a 5-hour demo or something like that. So you could play the game for an extensive amount of time before you commit to buying it. And it's kind of weird because considering how long this game is slow mode, is that really normal practice? Like,
yeah, I mean, look,
5 hours is more time you get than EA access.
True, but the game, like I think when I beat the game, it probably took me anywhere between 25 to 30 hours. When I beat it back like when it was like a mess, and I maybe 1 or 2 hours was me trying to get the game to work in that time period. I remember doing the final mission, and there was a part where there was a tank that was supposed to like blow something up, a door up, but the tank was like basically like a paperweight, and every time a bullet would hit the tank, it would flip up in the air and then come down on its head. And so like when it would do that, like it was inoperable. And so like I had to like spend maybe like 45 minutes trying to do that one section over and over and over again. And I had to like, my method was to fight the enemies as soon as they dropped off of their helicopters away from the tank, because if any bullets ricocheted and went down there, it was a wrap. I might as well restart it. And it's like little bugs like that extended my playtime. But I think 5 hours it gives you the amount of time of the prologue, your origin story for your V, the first mission that basically gives you the plot of the entire game. That's like 5 hours right there. So like by the time you're done with your trial, you know whether you like this game or not. And I think that's a good idea for them. But I think it was a terrible idea for them to release it now.
Yeah, I don't think that this 5-hour demo was really designated for people if they like the game or not. I think it was more like, look, I know a lot of you refunded it because we know. And I know a lot of you didn't buy it because of the reviews. We know. Mm-hmm. And I know our game is considered one of the buggiest games in history. We know. But we got this 5-hour demo where you can see for yourself that none of that exists anymore. Like, so
it's pretty bold.
It is. I hope they bounce back, because I personally don't feel like Cyberpunk themselves wanted this. I mean, CD Projekt Red. I feel like it was a lot of the executives over there that pushed this on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you look into it, it was the actual developers were doing everything they could to try to get the game delayed. They didn't want the game to come out until like would have been holiday of last year is when they wanted the game to come out. And it was their executives that they actually said they wanted to get the double dip. They wanted the last gen console money, and then they wanted the next gen console money. And so like they when the consoles was coming out, for them that was like, no, we're definitely releasing this year no matter what.
I do feel like as long as this game is relatively fixed, because I would say that this next gen patch is going to fix next gen versions for the most part. You know, they might have to do some tweaks after this just to fix some fine to stuff, but I feel like that the majority of the issues on Cyberpunk is probably going to get fixed with this. And as long as they come out with The Witcher 4 and they make sure that game is great and is bug free or relatively bug free. Nothing is bug free when you do these big massive games like this. The problem is when you do these type of games, here's the scale for bugs and here's the scale for you know the enjoyment you have with the game. This scale has to be higher than this scale. And as long as this scale is massively higher than this scale, you're going to enjoy it. Like the old Bethesda games. People, Bethesda, why does everyone give them a pass? Because their bug scale is always like here, and their enjoyment scale is always up here. Fallout 76...
I guess that's also subjective.
Fallout 76 was the very first game that it was flipped. Cyberpunk. A lot of people like Cyberpunk, but it was very buggy. Dying Light 2. I enjoyed Dying Light 2. It was buggy, but I enjoyed it more than I was annoyed with the actual bugs. It's just like, I'm never going to advocate and want these games to come out buggy. I'm not going to do that. I feel like you, as a company, should do everything in your power to make sure games come out functional. And what annoys me is it's not even games that have no business being broken comes out. Like CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk. Okay, it was way more broken than it should have been, but a lot of people understand that if they come across bugs in these type of games, that it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can get it. This is a very ambitious game, but there was way too many bugs. Bethesda games, same thing. But when you have games that you feel like they should not be broken and you're falling through the map, like Returnal, that's when you get to the mindset where it's like, yo, what's going on here? And I'm not saying none of them are right. None of them's right. I was for PlayStation pulling Cyberpunk off the PlayStation Store, because I feel like that should be a standard practice. If your shit don't work, we pulling it off.
Indeed.
It was also because they
didn't want to do the refunds.
But they sent out a message and they told the gamers to go to Sony for the refund, and Sony was like, "Excuse me, what? Don't come to me." No, you know what?
Well, I think they should have just kept their mouth shut. But what else could they really say? Like, they wanted refunds. Those games were in those stores. Like, obviously, if it was their own store, GOG, I think they own GOG, then that would have made more sense. You know what I'm saying? Because they can actually issue these refunds themselves. But when it comes to the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store, they have no control over that. They're going to have to tell those consumers to go to those prospective platforms and ask for the refund. But what they should have done is they should have communicated with all these stores, and they should have had like an open dialogue where they paid for the refunds. You know what I'm saying? Like that 30%.
Right. Yeah. And I think it was also the wording of their little yellow. You know how they used to always have those tweets with the yellow messages, right?
Yeah.
It was the wording of it, because it was like, hey, if you want a full refund of your game, we will honor all full refunds. Talk to Sony. And it was just like, wait, hold up, Brandon. Like,
I want to
because Sony has a refund policy that's a little bit stricter than what Xbox's is, but I can see them like, yo, don't be telling customers to come to us and we guaranteeing refunds right now. Like that might not. That definitely didn't go over well with Sony.
And someone in the chat did bring up the PSN non-existent digital return policy. They got a pretty lacking digital return policy, and I think that was definitely one of the reasons that there was so much attention put onto it, was because of that return policy.
Yeah, hey, I want to respond to I believe this gentleman's name is Account in the chat. Hey, listen, man. The reason why why it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, Cyberpunk in general, is because nobody told them to oversell that game the way that they did. Like, when if I did videos on it, because I saw like a lot of stuff, saw a lot of that game in the press, and they kind of made it out to be something that they knew when they started working on it. Let's just say that.
I mean,
they knew when they really started working on it.
Keep it a buck, they lied. They lied.
In the marketing material, they were showing features and stuff that wasn't in the game.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention all the cut content. I mean, it'd have been dope if they would have, implemented said cut content, like having the third-person vehicles, having the customizable vehicles and stuff like that. If they would have implemented all that in this update, I'd be like, all right, cool. That'd have been dope for them. That'd have been dope to see. But look, listen. I also know this isn't completely CD Projekt Red's fault. They kind of like were held, by the hind parts by the Polish government. The Polish government kind of put the pressure on them to like, yo, hurry up and do this. Like it was a certain amount of pressure being put on
something
them.
with their laws, with like labor laws and things like that, like paying people. I think maybe it was like the bonuses or something like that they had to get. But I mean, look, here's the thing is that their investors, they have been kind of delaying some of that stuff for a while, because like the game wasn't ready. But like in previous times, it wasn't ready to, like previous years, it wasn't ready as well. So like, I think they probably could have got away with at least giving it another year, but they openly came out and said like, we really just wanted to double dip on the this transition from one generation to another. And so, look, they got their money because that thing sold like
They sold
13,
like
14 million in the
yeah,
first month.
it
And
sold a lot. But
yeah.
Slow-Mo, I don't know if y'all remember, just recently, I want to say maybe 2 months ago. I don't know. It's not the young lady, not the girl who used to be at a PlayStation Now, not the PlayStation Access, not her, not Holly Bennett, but it's another gentleman. Like he did a live stream and they would just ask him different questions and everything. And he really thought somebody was trolling him, but the dude was just trying to ask him like a genuine question about the game. So he kind of balked on him a little bit, and then he tried to walk it back. So there's a lot. There's a lot with that, and there's a lot that they would have to fix in order for Cyberpunk to, like, I would say, be successful, because they already sold. Slow-Mo, you just said it. They sold like 15 million that first month. They came out and said that too. And I think this is the reason why we didn't get Battlefield's numbers, because remember when they came out and said that, hey, we sold this much and this game was in that condition? Like, there's a reason why EA didn't mention anything about Battlefield 2042, because like they went
in the back room and counted their money in secret. They're like, we're not going to come out openly and say, yo, we released a broken game, but we still got that money. Like,
right.
That would
not have gone over well.
Not at all.
And I think this did hurt the CD Projekt Red name. I feel like before this game came out, they actually had a lot of bargaining chips in the industry. I still think they still do, because they still made Witcher 3, and that's considered one of the best games to a lot of people. But this as a whole definitely impacted that that industry name they had, because I feel like a lot of people, they could do no wrong. A lot of people felt like they literally could do no wrong. All I'm asking for, man, is like, we need to come together as an industry more often. And because here's the thing about like boycotts, most of them don't work. You have a better chance. People say vote with your wallet. The problem is there's too many people that don't pay attention to what's going on and they buy shit. That's the problem.
Even the people who say vote with your wallet don't vote with their wallet either.
Yeah. I mean,
look at something like Destiny. Bungie has screwed over their fans multiple times, and my dumbass is still buying the Witch Queen on the 22nd. So, it is what it is. But it's just like, Bungie's a little bit different because it's a lot about like the direction of the game. It's not really like broken, features or anything like that. So I do feel like when a game comes out broken, that Microsoft needs to yank that stuff off their store. PlayStation needs to yank that stuff off their store. Steam needs to yank that stuff off their store. Epic, because if this happened enough times, don't you guys think that they would be very cautious before releasing games?
They would be, and they actually have tools or like policies in place to prevent this from happening, but then they circumvent their own policies with how they treat big time developers and publishers. So like the whole approval process, when the game goes gold and they give it to Sony and Microsoft, they're supposed to make sure the game isn't broken, and they give them recommendations of like, okay, look, we normally would not approve this because you got all these issues. And then like the developer goes to them and says, we'll fix these issues before launch, don't worry. And it's always like, it's the trusted developers that get that kind of leeway. Like if the three of us made a studio and we made a game, Microsoft isn't going to trust us that we're going to fix these issues before launch, but they trusted CD Projekt Red, and they betrayed that trust. And so like, you gotta stop giving these people leeway like that when they don't do what they say they're going to do.
The funny thing is, I always assumed that like certification process would protect the consumers a lot of the times, but when I talk to people that actually know what that certification process is, they say it's not as in-depth as people think. It's pretty much just like, does it run and does it crash our console? Oh, it gets you to the title screen and the Xbox is still on. Out. Like, it's not really like real in detail. And I don't know if like an actual person does it or a program. So I'm kind of curious exactly how that works.
But even that doesn't work. Remember when Control first came out? Control was shutting down PlayStations and Xboxes. I was like, yo, so what happened there?
Like, I'm very like adamant about my hate for Control, but I can also say that gameplay in Control is some of the most fluid, crazy stuff that's I've ever experienced in games.
I love that gameplay. I think Quantum Break's story is better, but Control's gameplay, I love it.
I'm not a big fan of Remedy. I actually think Remedy needs to like go away. But after I played Control, I can actually see, okay, maybe I was too harsh on Remedy. But they got to deliver something that I enjoy myself. And it's not that I always felt like Remedy's games are so out there. Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of like Kojima, because I've always said Kojima belongs in a straitjacket. But, you know.
Facts.
But guess what? That kind of mind makes some of the craziest stuff that people like. I didn't like Death Stranding. And I don't know if you gentlemen like Death Stranding. But the coat falling for Death Stranding. Look, there's this dude named Donkey that's on YouTube. He's a big YouTuber. I know his video on Death Stranding was hilarious. Like, I lost it. It was so funny. And it's just like, look, like, I always felt like Remedy. I know we're going off the topic, but it's the Addict Show. I don't care. I've always felt like Remedy is the prime example of PlayStation needs to buy. Like, I feel like if PlayStation bought Remedy, they could take that studio to the next level. Because they kind of make the same type of games. It's just, I feel like Remedy's isn't the quality that PlayStation's is.
It's not. It doesn't have that same like cinematic feel that PlayStation games have. Although I do kind of wonder if Sony could really help them kind of get over the hump, because part of my issues with Remedy is how they tell stories. And I know Sam Lake is an author and everything, right? But what I don't like with Remedy's games is that a good portion of the good story is in like correspondence, emails, letters that you find lying around. No, show me that. I want to see those events that they are told in letters on the screen in cutscenes or you know in engine stuff. Stop like having me read for like 5 hours throughout this game, and they do that a lot. It actually kind of like Guerrilla Games did that with Horizon Zero Dawn. Like literally the whole exposition dump in the middle of the game to tell you the entire story. All that stuff is through like audio logs and video logs. It's not actually telling you the story. I wish games would get out of that format and get to actually, this is an interactive medium. Show me this instead of having me read it, you know? And I don't know if Sony would get them out of that mode or not.
Well, it's not, I feel like the talent from other studios could probably get them in that mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like maybe even PlayStation could help by getting talent in that studio that wouldn't be available if they didn't buy them. For instance, I'm a huge fan of Destiny. I talk about it frequently. I was concerned what the future of Destiny was after this this saga with the Light and Darkness is. And that's like 2024. I was like, I think that there's a chance that after Matter comes out, and if it's a success, Bungie is going to be stopping all support on Destiny. Because to me, that studio and what they have showed me, I don't know if they could support 2 games simultaneously like that. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like now, since Sony owns them and Sony needs that place, they need that multiplayer infrastructure. Even if Destiny's story's done, they will fund money to continue that game.
Yeah, and look, shout out to Pixel Big G in the chat. He said, didn't Remedy try that with Quantum Break and people complain? That's very different. We got a full-on TV show with Quantum Break. Yeah. Like that's gone like too far in the opposite direction. Like what I'm talking about is like in-game cutscenes, like the transition from you're playing the game to now it's like it's scripted back to gameplay. Like we see a lot of developers have mastered that very well. So Sony Santa Monica did it with God of War. Amazing. Like marvelous work with God of War and having you go back and forth like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Not full on TV show. Put your controller down, go get some popcorn, and sit here and watch this TV show for 30 minutes. Like, nah, that's a little too much.
Mm-mm. I don't know. I'm not sure. Somebody said something in the chat like, not every narrative. Don Otaku said not every narrative needs to be spoon fed to you. I probably disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to be in the middle of a game and then have to go search for audio logs and audio tapes. They did that in The Last of Us Part 1 in the DLC. Like, I found out things about Ellie's mother, like, through a tape, and I'm like, I wish they would have told that better. And I love that game, for the record. It's my second favorite game of all time. But I shouldn't have to go look for a tape, because what if I just didn't go that way and look for that tape or recording or whatever it was? So now they got to find better ways to, and that's been a complaint in gaming for quite some time too. Like, you shouldn't have to go out your way for the story itself. Like, yo, make an extra mission and implement the story or something. Just do something, but don't make me just run and get this little tape or whatever it is. Not Uncharted, whatever it is in Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn, whatever those like things that you got.
Codex,
whatever them extra things you got to find. Like, nah, just have somebody say it in the story. If you took the time to have a voice recording, like, you couldn't have more time to just write it in a more like, I don't know, cohesive way. You couldn't just put that together somehow. Like, maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm bugging.
I think
I'm not though. I'm not.
I think it's very, very vital how you explain a story, how you execute explaining a story. And certain things I do understand from a standpoint on, you don't need to fill everything. Like, people love the Bloodborne games, the Dark Souls games, the Demon Souls, but I don't think people love those games because of the story. They love them because of the lore. And I think that's a different completely conversation. Like, Bloodborne and them have a story, but the lore and the immersive of the world is what really draws you in, on top of phenomenal gameplay. I don't think anyone in this chat said, yo, we're going to play, you know what, Slow-Mo, we're going to play Elden Ring because I want to see the story. Have you ever heard anyone say that?
No. Everyone wants to fight a boss that bodies them 20 times before they finally beat them. That's what they want to do. That's what the draw is for Elden Ring. Yeah, like, I agree. Those kind of games, the story isn't the draw, and then even with I would say with Remedy, I think their sci-fi nature, and the fact that they made their bones with Alan Wake kind of like lends more towards people wanting a story that they really resonate with them. So I think finally with Control, you have a Remedy game where the gameplay is rock solid and amazing. But like, I just kind of felt like the story didn't really live up to expectations that you would expect from like a Remedy game. I didn't think the story was that great, honestly.
Yeah,
I want to say this before we move on. Hey, Don Otaku, it's not that. You got other ways of implementing story beats into different games. You can do it through, like, Uncharted has those, I want to say interactive cutscenes, but they have those set pieces, the way you can. Yeah. I mean, like, maybe it's a lot going on, but there's other ways that you can implement story into your game. So you can always do it during one of those set pieces. I mean, it's other ways. It's just, I don't know. PlayStation the best station. Look, that's what we going. That's what we going to say right now. That's what we going to say.
What? Before I kick you out.
Where am I wrong?
All right, so
where am I wrong, sir?
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever played a game and you got turned off the fact that there was a lot of reading?
Oh yeah, I skip past all that.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like when I'm playing a game and there's an excessive amount of reading, first thing I say, yo, bro, it's 2022. Why am I reading this much?
Yeah. Like, especially if I feel like the story isn't good, like the reading isn't good, like the way it's written is written poorly, then I'm really upset because it's just like, all right, this is boring at this point. Yeah.
And then I'm like,
feel like a chore.
And then I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, I wait for anime, not read manga. I wait for the movies and not read the books. Like, what makes you think I'm gonna read your game? But anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Xbox and Starfield. Okay, first off, we're going to, I originally had a way I was going to word this. We was going to take this, but I don't even care anymore. You know what we're going to do, man? What we're going to do is we're just going to talk about Starfield, your expectations of Starfield, and we're going to talk about your expectations and realistic expectations. And keep in mind, We still don't know one damn thing about this game. But we going to roll with it, man. We going to roll with it. Slow-mo. What is your expectations with Starfield?
Absolutely nothing, because I can't stand Bethesda games. I have never cared about these games, and I know some people in the chat want to be like, burn him at the stake, right? But look, I have played Morrowind, Oblivion. I have played Skyrim. I have played Fallout 3. I have played Fallout 76. I have enjoyed 0 of those games. They don't resonate with me, and I'm fine with that. I understand that there are people who love those games, and I'm not that person, and it's fine. It's fine. That said, my expectations is this is going to be a very what's the guy's name? The guy that the jacket, Indiana Jones jacket guy. What's his name? Go on. I can't remember his name.
Well, not Todd Howard.
Yes, Todd Howard. Indiana Jones jacket. You got that?
You called him Indiana. Oh my god.
The leather jacket. Yeah. So Todd Howard, this is his baby. Fallout 76 wasn't his baby, apparently. This is his baby now. I think that anyone who enjoys Bethesda games is going to love this game. Whatever it is, it's going to have Todd Howard all over it. And all the stuff that you guys love, the big sandbox with the generic stories and the main plot you don't care about because no one cares. And then you just go off and just do whatever for 5 million hours. Y'all going to get all of that. Y'all going to love it.
It's not about the ending, man. It's about the journey and how you get there.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole lot of journey.
It's a lot of journey. Here's the thing. Okay. Bethesda games are so important to me because I remember sitting up playing Fallout New Vegas, and I know that was made by Obsidian, but you get what I'm saying. I'm sure that Bethesda had a lot of influence in that game. Fallout 3, I remember putting 500 plus hours in that game. Skyrim, I probably put 1,000 plus hours in that game. And everything I just said, you know what they all have in common? The majority of those games have been Game of the Year. Like, regardless how you feel about Bethesda, and I said Bethesda, it doesn't take away from the fact that when these people make a game that's not Fallout 76, and people keep saying they made Fallout 76, no, they didn't. Stop it. This company that's making this game did not make Fallout 76. They helped with some like animations or something like that, and the whole company got branded with that. Look, regardless how Fallout 76 launched, and it's another prime example of games need to stop being what games are. The game should have came out working. It didn't. It came out bare bones. That's true. But I think a lot of people that play that game now, they enjoy that. That's why I do think that we're in the slippery slope when it comes to, I know we just went in another tyrant, but it's okay. We went into a slippery slope when it comes to games as a service games where you can't really truly make a games as a service game without time with the community to form that into a game that you want. But the problem is these companies need to go ahead and start proactively putting these games in preview programs that's on Steam, that's on Xbox, and stop publishing it as a full retail game. That's my rant. Okay, that's my rant. But anyways, back to what we were saying about this. The actual main team of Bethesda, the one that Todd Howard oversees the most, it is the studio making Starfield. They made Fallout 4. And, they're going to be the ones that's making the Elder Scrolls. Actually, I've been told that Elder Scrolls is already being worked on. But, what's going to be interesting is I feel like this game might be the most important game Microsoft and Bethesda's ever made. Because I feel like this game...
both of them or just Bethesda?
Both of them.
Bethesda.
Both of them. Because it's going to be the most important game that Bethesda made because of Fallout 76. And they have to prove that not every game we release is going to be 76 quality, but it's also going to be one of the most important games that Xbox has ever published and made, because now you would consider it the same thing, because this is going to be one of the first key factors to showing the people what Microsoft's new studios can produce. And if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. We're going to talk our talk regardless, but I feel like it's going to do good because I trust that studio making the game. Sure, it could be bad, but besides Fallout 76, and I know that's a huge, that's like one of those things where you have a camera and like the left side's nothing but dead bodies and the right side's nothing but dead bodies, but I'm only focusing on the part of the room that's no dead bodies. Like, I know I'm doing that right here. Like, Fallout 76 is over here. Fallout 76 is over here. But look at straight in the camera. This is Elder Scrolls 6. This is a Morrowind. This is Oblivion. This is Fallout 4, Fallout 3. Almost all of these games have been Game of the Year contenders. And do you guys think it's okay to write this company off one bad game that they didn't even directly make? Hustle.
Well, no, and I do want to answer the question. Of course, and I'll answer the question that's in the title. Of course, Xbox wants to scan and be great. Like, this was Microsoft's, for all intents and purposes, this was their like flag in the sand to be like, hey, this is the first major move that we made, and we chose to make it with Bethesda, whatever you want to call them, when they made the ZeniMax purchase. So when they got all that, this is their marquee game. This is their, well, I want to say their magnum opus, but for Bethesda in particular, yeah, they're going to have to knock that out the park after what happened with Fallout 76. Now, I know it's fixed now, and I know that things have kind of like regained traction. Listen, let me be the first to tell y'all this. I tried Fallout 4. It was on the PS4. I tried Fallout 4. My homeboy, shout out to my homeboy Infamous. He tried to get me to play that joint. I said, nah, fam. I said, it just was something about it I just didn't like. Maybe it was the first person. Maybe it was just I don't like
probably the everything.
It was just something off, you know?
I got all kinds of shade for Bethesda, my bad. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm going to let you slander off all day. But it was like that dreary surrounding, and that was my first Fallout game. I didn't really know what to expect. I don't really do research like how I do it now, but I said, nah, I'm good. Yeah, I know I know Bethesda's based out of Maryland and everything, but now I'm good. They can stay up north in that. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I'm all right. But no, they going to have to knock that out the park. Like, it's imperative that they do. Like I said, Microsoft put $7.8 billion behind, not just, them, but like they're a big part of why that process happened.
Yeah.
Y'all remember when Tower Howard, when they all had that sit down and Tower Howard was like, when Fallout 76 wasn't working, like, yo, we came to y'all first. We came to Xbox first. We came to Microsoft first. What's up?
Real quick, Big Mad Mo in the chat said, so Redfield is chopped liver. I'm not saying Redfield isn't chopped liver. It's made by Arcane. I love that studio. I'm not really too happy with the way that they went with that direction of gameplay, but I'm not going to doubt Arcane until I play the game.
You mean the Borderlands focus, the loot shooter kind of focus?
Yeah, I would have preferred them to go with their bread and butter, like the Dishonored type of games, the death loops. But it is what it is. Now that they're making Redfall, maybe this game is going to be gold. We just don't know it. It's just what I saw didn't really seem to me that I was going to enjoy it. But I'm going to try it because it's going to be in Game Pass. Shout out to Game Pass. And it looks, it just doesn't look, it kind of like reminds me of like a different take on like something like a Fortnite. Now I know that seems like a weird comparison. Maybe it's just more of like the way the game looks than anything else. But I just,
you mean art direction?
Yeah, the art direction. When I'm talking about Starfield, like, Redfall is going to be there. It is. I don't think no one could say Redfall is not going to be there. But I think we can all agree that people are going to Redfall. My bad. Redfall. So I think people are going to gravitate more towards something like Starfield than Redfall. And I'm not saying Redfall isn't an important game. I'm saying in terms of what these studios that Microsoft built, I think when you look at something like a Starfield, if that takes off the park, it's going to really validate a lot of things. Now, if Redfall takes off, that's going to be successful in other areas because it's going to show that you don't have to be just a Bethesda software to succeed. Arcane, regardless how you felt about Deathloop, I enjoyed Deathloop and it was a good game. And I think that shows that studio can make games. And I've said it multiple times. It's funny that people feel like just because this studio bought something that they're all going to be they're just going to start making crazy, like, horrible quality games. And I don't think that's the case here.
No, they're allowing them to do what they want to do. They have that creative freedom to make those kind of games. I've said this many times before, but I'll say it again. Like, I don't care for Bethesda in-house games, but I am a fan of Bethesda published games. Arcane, Machine Games, id Software. I am a fan of those titles, and like the whole Borderlands feel. I'm a massive Borderlands fan. So for me, Redfall, I'm far more excited for Redfall than I am Starfield.
That's
So
because you
like
hate
Redfall is not
Bethesda.
chopped liver to me.
Look,
I
look. All I'm
such
saying,
a
like
strong
people are
word.
attacking me for my Fortnite thing. Like you can attack me all you want. I'm gonna say it again. Fortnite, Redfall. Look, it's just because I don't like the direction. Is that like I see kind of like them trying to like sprinkle some some hero shooter in this game. Maybe it's because I don't know what it is. Can someone show me a link showing what this damn game is?
Well, like no one has seen gameplay, but like there have been testers that have kind of come out and said some things about how it plays, and I remember seeing a list of like bullet points, and I thought it was Borderlands based off of the character archetypes that are very much like Borderlands that when they showed in the trailer, but all the bullet points were saying Borderlands, 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 all over the place. It's Borderlands with vampires, and like for me, I'm like, well, bet because I love Borderlands. I'll play the hell out of that. But I know that's going to be hit a certain demographic. That's not going to be the same people that care for Starfield. Those kind of people, they like other kind of games than that kind of game. So yeah.
I got a question.
Let me get these super chats real quick. So we got a $5 super chat from 108 Dragon. Appreciate 108. 108's a very passionate person, man. I love one. He's family. Starfield will not fail because so much of a following but it will be scrutinized because Microsoft purchased Bethesda. The telescope review, as always. I will agree with you. I think that regardless, even people did that with Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge was literally almost out the door, and people blame Microsoft for it. So I definitely understand that. But then we got a $2 super chat from Dawn Otaku. Arcane Borderlands? That sounds great to me. Oh, he likes your reference of Borderlands. Look, I'm not going to say this game's going to be bad. I'm just saying I need to see more of how the characters interact with each other and how of like this co-op experience works before I'm on the Redfall train.
When you because we haven't seen any gameplay, and I took a moment to look at the trailer or rewatch the trailer. I had saw with you guys during the Xbox Summer Gaming Showcase. Yeah, I understand the Fortnite thing. This was the game I was excited for. I must have got this one confused with the other Back 4 Blood. There we go. I think I got that one confused with Back 4 Blood. But okay, so you guys have a lot of history with like Arcane. Do they typically just make first person stuff? Do they make third person stuff?
Everything they do is first person for the most part.
Besides Rise.
Yeah.
No, not Rise. Okay. Not Rise. I don't know why I thought you said a completely different game. Yeah, this I don't know why Cyberpunk. It is what it is. My mind is so messed up today.
Yeah, it's all good. No,
Cryotech. Damn it, Cryotech. They made Dishonored. Yeah. They made Deathloop.
First person.
Prey. They made Prey.
I didn't like
Prey and Moon and what was Moon something? The Moon. The expansion they did, I can't remember the Moonshot, Moon launch. I can't remember the name, but that was apparently really good the way that one played out. But yeah, everything Arcane does is first person. So.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll try it. Now I think that's four person co-op. I don't know why I thought it was 5-person co-op at first because they had the little robot doggy thing or whatever. I remember saying that too. But
I like the character designs in Redfall. Yeah. They look really good. I like the characters.
And that's why it's an L that it's not in third person to me. Like to me, all those characters are different. That's why that's like an L to me, though. Like, okay. But I just gotta wait and see how it turns out.
You're reading the name in the super chat because I'm not doing this again.
No, I know what it says.
Sofuna Poetic.
No, it's Sifu Poetic X Initiative. I need some glasses.
Sifu Poetic X Initiative with the $2 super chat. Be crazy if Starfield was better than Mass Effect. Don't tell that to Slow Mo. We got a $2.
That would be crazy because that's never going to happen. Is what
we got a $2 super chat from Don Otaku. They mentioned third person in Redfall leak. It's the game looks like a third person. It does look like a third person.
It's an L if it ain't in third person. That's an L if it ain't. I'm just saying. We got to keep it.
I think shout out to Cog with his just one. I think they need more experiences in a third person perspective. Mm-hmm. I don't really necessarily care that much. Like I've never been the kind of person like if I want to play those third person over the shoulder experiences, I got a big bulky PlayStation I can commit murder with over here on my desk.
Oh my god!
So you know,
all right.
I got that. I don't necessarily need an Xbox to play those type of games. I want different experiences on every platform. I do think they need a couple. I will agree with Cog there. They need one or two really good ones.
I'm about to say, Adam.
I think it might be a mix. I think it might be a mix of like you can choose first person or third person. I'm going to we have a private chat here, right? I'm gonna throw in here a link to some screenshots.
Okay.
For you guys to take a look at real quick, and these screenshots show first person and third person. It could be third person in like say the hub area that these kind of games have, but then actually first person because like with in actual gameplay of the screenshots, they're all first person with you holding your guns and stuff. So I'll throw that in here real quick so you guys take a look at that. I'm actually looking for the actual like bullet points that I was talking about, like what the testers had played. Yeah. But those are I'll find that in a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of first person.
We'll bring this up a little bit. Like we ain't got really a whole lot to do, man. Like we got one topic that's probably going to get through pretty fast. And we'll talk about some Redfall for a minute because you guys are going at me a little bit too hard. I don't like it. So we're going to talk about Redfall for a couple seconds. Okay, so here is the screen that they are bringing up. These are the screens. Let me go ahead and switch to translation. So there we go. All right, so here's Redfall. Now, I like the overall screen. Now, keep in mind, for people who say, like, this is how a game's going to look, this is not how the game's going to look. I've played games in alpha that look dramatically different when the actual retail version comes out.
Clearly, they don't do a glow up on a game they're still working on. They don't do that to the end. Yeah.
Like, you know, I like, so you see skills up here, map up here, missions. You know, Hustle, we might have went over this in the past, but we're doing it again. So we got the archive. I don't know what that is. So, you know, it looks like it's got some kind of system in it to where it's like legendary, exotics, or whatever they're called.
Right.
You got armor, med kit. Is that remnants? What is that? I don't know what that is. Remnants.
They definitely have the typical color system of a lot of looter shooters where gold is like legendary, purple is like rare, blue would be like standard, and green and white you're like, you know, doo-doo. Like you don't want those weapons. Yeah. Like the starter weapon kind of stuff.
You know, Slow-Mo, and you'll appreciate this. The layout of it does remind me of Division 2. And for what it's worth,
True. Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the Division 2, but I'm having to hold you. Just me and the troubleshooters was kicking it, and we was playing that. And I think I paid $10 for it, and I might have gotten like 20 good hours out of it. I had to go back and check through the Ubisoft thing, but I got a nice little amount of playing time up out of that. As long as it says third person, Redfall has third person for me, then I'm straight. Because I feel like
there's that one screenshot where there is third person, but if you go to the next tweet, the next tweet is like all like actual like screenshots from gameplay, and it's all first person.
First person, yeah, I see that. Yeah,
that is weird that it is first. And it wouldn't. Maybe you could switch back and forth.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's might be a possibility.
And don't you love these names? Like it's just like they could name better than this. UV beam MO1. Like. It's kind of crazy. I think if you look like the textures already in alpha, this is probably gonna be a good looking game.
Yeah, looks like that entire wall back there. That's just the placeholder kind of thing. Like that wall where it says Loot Zoo. It's just a placeholder until they actually put in real assets there when the game is ready to really get closer to launch. I did. Do you guys remember there was talk that the game might get delayed?
I did hear about that.
I mean, considering how we haven't seen any actual running gameplay, and it's supposed to come out this summer, yeah, I can definitely see a delay happening.
Look, at the end of the day, man, you know, I think Redfall is going to appeal to the people Redfall appeals to. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. We need to have this conversation real quick, man. Let me bring up Zoom so I feel like I'm talking to you guys individually. All right, there, I can see you guys. We need to stop having this mentality. I have it myself because I'm known as the addict world, but that's okay because I'm okay. I've accepted my flaws. All right, it's those people that ain't accepted your flaws. We need to stop having this mentality that we need to push our taste in games on every game. PlayStation gamers, not everything has to play like Uncharted. I'm sorry. I'm going to be real with you. I will agree that Microsoft needs...
Yes, it do.
You're going to ignore him. I will agree that Microsoft needs more games that's like that style, but not yanking that style. But we can't act like every game needs to be like that. I've noticed that there's people that refuse to play first person because it's not third person. And I think that's a little bit of that PlayStation bias in people. Let me go ahead and get these super chats.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a $2 super chat from Dawn Otaku. They mentioned third person in Redfall League. Okay, I think I read that, but just in case. We got a $5 super chat from Dawn Otaku. It ain't an L if it ain't third person. PS fanboys are the only ones who care. Okay, I literally just said that. We're going to keep moving past that. We got a $5 super chat for Cypher Pole 92.
Cypher, wait a minute.
Cypher Pole 92. I think I got that.
Yeah, Cypher Pole.
We should appreciate Bethesda bringing variety into Game Pass for the different demographics. Plus, I trust them to deliver a good story regardless. I think that's subjective. I think a lot of people like Bethesda games for their gameplay more than the story, but that's just me. All right.
I would agree with that too.
Hey, hold on, but why y'all getting yourself together? I just want to say this. I don't got a problem with first-person games, but I got a problem when all of your games are first-person. That's it. Like with the vast majority upset games of first person, that'll get boring to me. I'm just saying this. You know what I mean? Just
see, you say that, but I have a problem with nothing but all third person on Sony. Like I see because of games like Destiny, Halo. I grew up with these games. I like Dishonored. I liked Deathloop. I talked mad shit about Deathloop for like 6 months and ended up liking it. Go figure, but we're going to move past that. But I like these games. I like the gameplay, the opportunity. I like first person. I think there's a good way of doing first person, but the problem is Sony has raised the bar on that immersive thing when it comes to third person so much that I don't think the first person people can realistically fill that gap anymore. I actually thought that Cyberpunk did a good job with immersive moments in first person games. Like, here's the thing, like little things like seeing your arm open up a door, or like when you get on, like when you lay on that platform on you actually see yourself like rotating yourself around the table. Stuff like that really helps me with immersiveness in first persons. But like if I play first person and you click something and it literally just puts you in the chair without you physically seeing you get in the chair, automatically, what is this? And I think that first person does got to do more things, and I think they do gameplay, but I don't like third person gameplay. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't like the pop out, shoot, pop out, shoot, pop out, shoot. Like, I don't like none of that. That's whack to me.
That's fine to me.
I like third and first person. I'm a fan of both, although probably a little bit more first person because I'm a Halo kid. You know, I got a game
for you called Destiny then.
I'm good. I'm good with that. I got like 1,000 hours in Destiny. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with it. But no. I mean, Hustle, you were talking about how like you don't really like it when it's like all first person, but like Bethesda, that's like 90 more than 90% of their games are all first person perspective games. Id Software with Doom, Dishonored's first person, Machine Games with Wolfenstein, like all those.
But that's my point though.
Games,
But that's my point.
Are you
listen,
referring?
They got Gears over there for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? But there's a lot of first person now.
There's a lot of first person.
It's a whole lot of it now. It's like, damn,
there's a lot of first person, but I do feel like they have a vast majority more first person than they do third. But they still got third person games for you. They got Hellblade, Gears, the new Compulsion games are third person. Supposedly that
Xbox
Indiana Jones
general,
that Indiana Jones is going to be a third person. Well, I mean, we can't just.
I hope so.
I think they already confirmed that that's going to be a third person. I actually
thought good.
Yeah, I actually thought
it better be third person. It's Indiana Jones.
It's Indiana Jones.
It's like, come on.
Yep.
But no, I was talking specifically Bethesda and ZeniMax do a lot of like first person. I know, like, you know, Xbox Game Studios in general has a variety there, like Hellblade definitely, and we'll see a lot more of that with a lot more of their studios. Undead Labs with State of Decay, all that stuff is third person perspective. Like you're gonna get a massive variety out of Xbox over the next 2 or 3 years with the number of games that come out.
Most likely that's a third person. There's no way that's first.
That better not be first person.
Yeah,
oh my god, yeah.
It better not be.
You got Fable coming out. Gears, they're gonna make another one. Hellblade, they're gonna make another one. You got that Roundhouse Studio. I don't know. One of the Bethesda studios hasn't made a game yet. I don't remember which one. I think it's Roundhouse Studio, but they got like a mobile game division over there, so that might be Roundhouse. I can't remember. I actually thought that Perfect Dark should have been a third person.
Yep.
I thought they should have made that to like a stealth action adventure, very cinematic story game.
I agree with that.
Well,
that's why I would have preferred.
A little while ago, and I don't know if he was just pulling thoughts out the sky, but Kid Smooth actually, I don't know if he started that rumor, but I do remember hearing that from him that the coalition was supposed to work on Perfect Dark. Obviously, now we know that that's not true.
I think I made that thumbnail for him.
Okay, all right, cool. So I'm not just bugging out on my mind, but I do remember him saying that, and I was like, well, damn, okay.
Oh, someone said that
what's up?
Perfect Dark is first person with third person cover shooting. See, that's still whack though. All of it should have been just third. No, I know. I like the first person to third person cover shooting, but at that point, you might as well just give people the option to be a third person.
Pick one, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to wrap my head around that. How does that work? So like you're running around in first person, then you go into cover, and then you see like it zooms out and you see your character and your cover shooting, and then you leave cover and you go back to first person.
The first person.
I don't like that at all.
If that's how it is, keep in mind that is the chat. I don't know if the individual. You can give me a link, but we always, when it comes out of the chat, man, we got to be real with you. We got to have that disclaimer. We got the info from the chat because I don't want no one going to Twitter and saying Addict said that this is a first person and third person game. So if you're going to say that, you definitely need to put at the end that the chat said that, not me. So, I mean, we'll come back, man. Like, because I told you guys a couple weeks ago, I have some plans, some changes that's going to happen to the Addict show. I'm going to bring the Addict Spotlight back too. So, that's my spoiler cast with games. So, keep a lookout for that. I don't know what we're going to do it with. I don't know who I'm going to do it with, and I don't know when I'm going to do it. So don't ask me none of those questions because you're going to get the exact same thing I just told you. I don't know. But it'll come back eventually. So let's go on to the main event of the evening. I definitely butchered that. Can't do that stuff. What's his name says. All right, so first off, I want to talk about a couple things Horizon style. First, I want to talk about after I lay this out, Hustle, I got to go get something to drink. My throat's going, so you take over. First thing I want to talk about is Horizon Forbidden West. What is your what are you guys excited for the game? Second thing I want to talk about is the attacking of the Metacritic score from the 89 to the 90. I want to go over that, tell exactly how you guys feel about that. And the third I want to talk about is what Hogue put up on Twitter that I didn't know, that they're trying to finesse people out of $10. Have you guys seen this?
No, I have not. So I'll take a look
supposedly,
at that.
And Hogue is on his stuff. So I'm a deem it facts because Hogue said it. But it's, if you pay for the $59.99 PS4 version, you get a free upgrade to the PS5 version. But if you buy the PS5 version, it's $69.99 or $70, yeah. So Hogue's pretty much like, you can literally buy the PS4 version and upgrade to the PS5 version for no cost. So they're trying to take the misinformation, they're trying to low-key extort people out of $10 because they don't know better. So let me go get something to drink. You guys talk about we're going to start with Hustle, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of excitement for the game, I look forward to seeing what Guerrilla Games has to offer, from the first one. Anytime you drop a game or anytime that you would make a NAPI for the first time, it's not going to be necessarily perfect. But what I would like for you to do is have an opportunity to fix whatever was wrong in the first game in your second game. So, yeah, I am a little bit excited for it. I was going to get the $200.
Did you beat the first one?
No, sir. I got it on PC through the Melodic Punk. I just haven't played it yet. So I'm not. Okay. I don't know nothing about the story. What I know about it is that it looks really good, and I just know that she was an outcast because that's from what I played in the very beginning. She was an outcast, and they were throwing rocks at her and all that, and she had to go through some type of trials or something, and that's about as far as I got. And I'm not even up here capping for this joint. Like one of them, Jack Move made and Erica, they both made the comparison. Like, oh, this is more like Uncharted. With everything that was going on in the second trailer. So I said, okay, well, I love Uncharted. That's my favorite. Uncharted 2 is my favorite game of all time. So I said, let me just go ahead and try this one out. Now I was going to get the $200 collector's edition, as I was about to mention, but now I'm going to get the $70 version, man. Because if I don't like it, I'm taking that joint right back. They ain't going to want the statues and all that. If I can't return the whole thing. So next. Not the 18th, but on the 25th. Hopefully, it won't let it get spoiled for me. But I'm gonna cop it there. I'm gonna cop the physical version there. But you Slow-Mo, you tell me. Did you play the first one, and are you excited for the second one?
I have beat the first one on PC. I attempted it to beat it and could I'll tell you about my issues with Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the reason why I didn't complete it on PlayStation 4 when it first came out. It was at 30 frames per second. You already know how I feel about that, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I don't mess with no 30 frames. Come on now. Now on PC, I played it. I was able to power through the boring part of it, and that's where one of my issues with Guerrilla and Horizon is that it's a good story, but it's a good story told poorly. It's it has a story pacing issue, and it introduces you to this great world, and it gives you all these questions in the beginning, like what happened to the old world? What happened? You see these derelict
no spoilers,
buildings.
though, man, because I ain't beat it.
Oh man, no spoilers, but it doesn't answer those questions until 15 hours in, and then there's 12 hours before in between that of tribal irrelevant nonsense, and it's just I don't care about any of this stuff that's going on. I don't care that Aloy is an outcast. I don't care about any of that. Get back to the story, and when it finally gets back to the story, it is good. And I think for a lot of people, if they get to the part where they explain who she is and what's really going on and what the actual issues are with this world, a lot of people will be invested in it and continuing it and being like, man, I'm really digging this. But it's just getting to that part is the problem. So what I really hope with Forbidden West is that their pacing of the story is improved, where you're not waiting 15 hours in to get to the parts that are really interesting with the story. Aloy, something I don't think is going to be based off of the reviews addressed. I think Aloy is kind of just a character who's just there. There's very little character development for herself. She just there are times in her Zero Dawn where I'm just I want her to be who you think you're talking to, not necessarily getting an attitude, snapping her neck or nothing, but just kind of hey, yo, don't talk to me like that. Don't I want to see some emotion out of her. And a lot of times she's just very much oh, hi, that's how you feel? Great. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad I helped you. I'm stop. Give me something else out of it. She's boring. And I'm hoping with she is, but I'm hoping with Forbidden West that we get a little bit more character development out of her. Well, unfortunately, I've seen some reviews that kind of feel like that's not happening. I'll see for myself, but I am hyped for this game because I really enjoy the gameplay. The game is beautiful. The first Zero Dawn is beautiful. This one Forbidden West looks even better, and I'm just really can't wait to get my hands on it and play it for myself. But I am concerned about those areas that I feel like Guerrilla has a weakness with storytelling and a weakness with creating compelling characters.
Slow-Mo, and then before you go on, I can't remember where I saw it, but Horizon Zero Dawn had the Decima engine, and as we all know, with Death Stranding, regardless if we're fans of it or not, they went to help Kojima and his team out with that during Death Stranding. I saw a few things the way they was hey, they picked up some new tactics, some new techniques, So I'm more and I'll be more impressed with what I'm gonna see on the PS5, and I want to see if it can really push the PS5 technically to its limits. When it does come to PC, Slow-Mo, you already know, man. Like, hey, you already know what type of time I'm on when it comes to that. So I can't wait. I just can't wait to see it. I
yes,
legit
sir.
can't wait
Yes,
to see
sir.
it. And,
the superior platform, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Indeed. Now, and the main reason why I bought this the 65-inch LG OLED and sitting in front of me right now was to play Horizon Zero Dawn 2 on the joint. I think I'm talking to Jay Barry on Twitter about that. Like, yo, that's the main reason why I bought this joint. Like, because I know how like technically like beautiful the first one is, and you know, like I'm gonna run through it. It's about 20 hours, and I won't get the game until the 25th, so I'll probably just stream the whole thing. But you know, you never know. But I'm gonna run through it. If I've heard a lot of things about the first one that Merc said it was pretty boring, but you know, Merc is he's dude, bro. So I mean, we'll have to see. But
Merc's not alone. A lot of people kind of felt that way. Like after you get about 2 or 3 hours in, you're just like, yo, what is going on here? Like, yeah. But I one other thing that just popped up that I kind of feel like I hope that they address is some of the side quests should be more of a main quest instead of a side quest, or the rewards of some of these side quests should be taken out and made to put into a main quest. For example, in Horizon Zero Dawn, there's a side quest you do. It's so completely minor. You could just run right past this and not even realize it. But the side quest could actually upgrade your spear and to do more damage. And it's the only time in the game where you can upgrade your spear to do more damage. Why is that a side quest? That should be like either the reward for that side quest for upgraded damage should be put to a main quest, or that side quest should be a main quest, because you shouldn't have a player potentially miss out on upgrading doing melee damage. The only time being able to do that in the main story, I think you could, if I recall correctly, you can upgrade your spear again in Forbidden in the expansion.
Frozen Wilds.
Yeah, but like the only time that I can do that is through a side quest that I could just run right past and just not even know that was that important. It's just like they gotta do better with that. So hopefully they do that too.
Yeah, so you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, here's how I feel about Horizon. The game never really appealed to me. Like I never really. I tried playing it a couple times. I'm gonna go back and try playing it again because I like the world. And what's funny is I'm working on a video that's pretty much like, because I feel like competition's key, and I do feel like when it comes to Microsoft, they need to have more answers to certain PlayStation games. Now, I was sitting here trying to make the video. I'm like, well, what can Microsoft's game be that can kind of compete with this game on certain merits? And I couldn't figure out one game. You know, as much as this game doesn't really resonate with me, I can honestly say it's a very unique type of game that I don't think could really have a lot of stuff going. It's just, you look at it and the fact that it's got robot dinosaurs in it. It's got an okay story from what I've been told. There's nothing really like it out there.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like the dynamic, the way the combat is so dynamic with the animals and the animals, these machine animals that act like herds, or like actual animals would act, where they just kind of like grazing in grass and stuff, or when they get violent, how they'll rush you, and all that stuff is really, really interesting, and not really done before in any other games. And the way that they implemented it, I like that uniqueness of it, and I like the different animals that they have with like snakes and all kinds of crazy stuff going on in Forbidden West. Like I can't wait to get into that. Like that kind of stuff is what I think it really is a huge strength of that game.
Yeah,
you know, I'm anticipating the underwater combat as well. I haven't seen too much on that. I just remember I just remember Aloy swimming through, trying not to get caught. But apparently, you can have combat underwater. You can defend yourself underwater.
So, what do you guys feel when it comes to? Let's talk a little bit about the Metacritic score. Did you guys talk about that while I was gone?
No.
All right. So, it got an 89. I think it's still sitting at 80. I ain't looked today. Probably not going to look again. I don't care. But when it comes to the 89, a lot of people was upset it's not a 90. And I was reading some of the responses, and some are valid. You know, people were saying that multiple outlets were saying it's better at every corner, but it's still the same score. So I get that. At the same time, I do feel like when it comes to sequels, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I do feel like when it comes to sequels, they're going to be criticized more than the original. Because they're going to want to see improvement in every aspect. They're going to want to see the game kind of evolve to a different level. But they're also going to want you to keep close to the original foundation that the game was built on. That's why I feel bad for devs, because in a lot of ways they can't win. So how do you feel about that, Slow-Mo?
Well, one, I want to say 89 is an amazing score.
Oh yeah, it's
and they should be
score.
Everyone at Gorilla should be proud of whatever Metacritic score they got. I can't stand Metacritic because I kind of feel like it's way overrated and overblown, and I hate that there's so much focus on it. But I know there's so much focus on it because developers and publishers, sometimes their bonuses are tied into it, and the reason that is because there are plenty of people out here who will make the decision to try a game out based upon what his Metacritic score is. And that's unfortunate because I kind of feel like people should choose what they play based off of what they see and not what other people tell them. All that said, I think that the people who are upset, and most of these are PlayStation fanboys, who are upset that Horizon Forbidden West does not have a 90 Metacritic, are only the console warriors who wanted to brag about yet another Sony game with a 90 Metacritic score. And that's the only reason they care. That's the only reason, because honestly, at 89, if it had a 90, does that change the game?
You know what it is?
It's literally 1 point.
You know what it is, Slow-Mo? I feel like extreme PlayStation fanboys, they've lost a lot of narratives that they used to cling on to. They lost the sales narrative, the power narrative, and in a lot of ways they've lost the games narrative. And it's not necessarily that they don't have the better games, but they used to be able to hardcore go into Xbox. They can't necessarily do that anymore. So
yeah, Xbox had some great. I just wanted to say real quick, you continue. They had some great scored games last year. Like they did not a single one that was below 80, right? So yeah, they can't really say that about Xbox.
The
anymore.
Metacritic score things is what a lot of them have left. Like the 90 plus, and they feel like if they can't go on Twitter and scream and put that 90 green symbol that says must buy on there, like they're gonna lose something. Like, look, at the end of the day, I've read that there's some bugs in the game. Like nothing like dramatic, but enough to infuriate you. Like they knew when they put that game in there was those bugs in there. So they got what they deserved. Like if you want a 90 plus game, have a 90 plus game. Don't have bugs. If they didn't have bugs, they probably would have a 90 plus game right now. Because when you're on that 89 standpoint, that high 8s, and if your game has bugs, you might not hit that 90s because of that.
Yeah, that's very true. A lot of games have, hey, look, very famously, Obsidian missed out on a big bonus when Bethesda was publishing the Fallout New Vegas game they were making, and that game had a massive game-breaking bug with load screens. I think it was if you walked into enough rooms and it did the load, it would eventually get to the point where the game will have an infinite load, hours and hours into it, and then you couldn't play the game anymore. There was that kind of bug, and they ended up with an 84 and they needed an 85 to get their bonus. That kind of stuff can definitely get dinged, and I think justifiably so, because the only time I really care about reviews is when I want to know if the game's a buggy mess or not. I don't care about their opinion on the game. Typically I'm sold on the game well before the reviews come out. But I want to know if the game is a buggy piece of trash. Because if it is, that's the only thing that will prevent me from playing it. Is that it's going to be a chore to just get through it. Instead of the game's difficulty, I'm fighting the bug's difficulty. I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with that. So I'll play something else.
Yeah, when it comes to the Metacritic thing, I kind of, when I do research for that, it's not for a number per se. It's literally just to see if they can improve. Like I was saying this before, it's to see if they can improve on the first one. In terms of story and everything, that's subjective. So no matter what y'all would tell me or anybody in the chat, no matter what y'all would tell me, I would have to experience this for myself.
True.
I was joking around and saying that, Merc told me that this game was kind of boring. I'm gonna play through it and we're gonna see. But the way I take in the story is much different from the way Slow Mo, Addict, Merc, and whoever else does.
Yeah.
We got to find out super chat from Gaming Forte. Slow Mo speaking facts. Sorry couldn't make it. Had an inventory tonight.
Ain't no worries, man. No worries.
No, there is worries. There's beef. There's beef. So, Slow Mo, what happened to that phone call this morning? Tell me you couldn't make it, man. Well,
and I text him. I call. Look, I appreciate him saying I'm speaking facts as I tend to do. But no. I called you, Forte. I left a text message, man.
What's crazy, Forte, is you could do mad podcasts at home, but you can't pick up a phone and say, "Yo, I can't make it. I'm busy. I got stuff I gotta do." You can't do none of that. Nah, I'm joking with you, Slow Mo. You have a good day with your inventory, man. So at the end of the day, like, what I want the most is I just want the game working, and there's a little bit of bugs with it. So at the end of the they have to deal with that, because when you make a game and if it's got bugs, it's like I said, you can't really expect 100% of every game review, because I never understood why game developers send out patches after the game's been reviewed. Like, and you do get the retail patch that launches with the game, it's like a couple days before the game comes out. Mm-hmm. So like you've realistically probably beat the entire game without this patch. And I don't understand that mindset. Like, if you want the game to be reviewed at its best, you need to have that patch out before the reviewers play the game. Yeah. So we got to find out the super chat from Grand C. That's also a labor issue, though. Devs need to unionize and stop companies from tying their bonuses to Metacritic. 100% understand that, man. Because I would be upset. I would be upset if it was about Metacritic, because Metacritic can easily be manipulated. Some people will make lower scores just to get the most clicks.
And not even that though, Addict. Like, the thing with Metacritic that I really don't like is that some people's opinions are way heavily more than others. Which I never really. This ain't no shot at no organization or no company, but IGN's word shouldn't mean more than the GameSpot. A GameSpot's word shouldn't mean more than like a level 1 or mine. Or, I mean, like, no. Right. Like, I understand that they in the industry, and I just do our names out there just to have other people's, just so you can draw an example from. But when it comes to like those Easy Ally still in the industry, I'm not sure. But like when it comes to stuff like that, I feel like they shouldn't. I feel like it should just be an equal thing.
Right. And you're right. It's a weighted average. I actually posted that on Twitter yesterday, because I was like, I saw a lot of discussion about it, and I was like, look, Metacritic sucks, man. Like, they do a weighted average. You're right. Hustle. What they do is like IGN's word and their number is worth more in the average than, say, level 1 gaming or like the Lognet, like, because they consider them a trusted. We've been working with them for so long. Trusted source things. It's silly.
What's crazy is Metacritic's not easy to get onto. Like, they say, oh, it's trusted. We trust these people. Like, you go through a pretty like crazy mentality to get all the people that's review on your site. So you don't trust half of them. Let's be real. It's right. Gaming politics. It's gaming politics. That's what it is. And it's just like, until, like, for instance, Dying Light 2, they had an embargo for media and an embargo for influencers, and that made no damn sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like people need to. And what's funny is you have very few companies, but I do see a shift that people are starting to lean more towards influencers. Maybe not the industry yet, but definitely like consumers, people watching videos on YouTube. But it is what it is when it comes to the Metacritic score. I do see Metacritic as a valid tool to use if how the industry feels about a game, because regardless if a couple misuse it, the majority of use it the way it's supposed to. So You look at a game and it's an 8, 9, 9, mid 8s, early 8s. You can relatively see that's going to be a good game and you should try it. But if you look on Metacritic, it's like a 6 and a 5. Maybe you should stay away from that game. Like,
right. I also, one other thing I don't like about it is how they do their averages with outlets that do the 5-star system. So Giant Bomb and Venture Beat do
like a
5-star
7
reviews.
out of 10 or something like that.
Right. So like if say there's a review from Giant Bomb and they gave a game a 3 out of 5, and then even in their review, if you read the review, they're mostly positive about the game and they feel like it's a good solid average game. That's a 60 on Metacritic. And it's just like you're not representing what that outlet really felt about that game.
I don't understand why they just are like, look, if you want to be on our website, you have to have a 1 out of 10 ratio. Like, I don't understand how that's hard.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So let's move on to the last part of this topic. The $10 PS5 tax, what I like to call it, man. The $10 hold up. The $10, we're going to activate your PlayStation 5 controller tax, all right? So first off, like we were saying before this, if you want to play the PlayStation 5 and you buy Horizon on the PS4, you can actually get a free upgrade to the PS5. So you can literally buy the PS5 version that's $70 for $59.99, $60 on the PlayStation store. So what I'm asking you guys is, first off, why don't they just make both 60 at that point? And do you think that's a little sleazy? We'll start with Hustle first.
Yeah, actually, I mean, because there's no if what he's saying is true, and I'm on his Twitter now, and I see his thumbnail. It says, "Don't buy Horizon Forbidden West on PS5." If that's true, and Hogue ain't really never been like a liar. He ain't never lied and never jumped out the window like that before. Why would he start now? He wouldn't. This is horrible. It's kind of horrendous, man. And this was a controversy back then because this was like the first game, I think, the way Horizon, when they said it was coming out, they was going to have to pay the extra $10 at one point. And then PlayStation go back on that. It was like, oh, you don't have to do that no more. And now it seems like that are. So I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna be real with you, Addict. I'm gonna call Jack Move Johnny. I got OCD and my nerves bad. If I'm gonna get a PS5 game, I'm gonna get a PS5 game. It's gonna go right next to this. It's gonna go right next to it. It's gonna have the same spine, and it's gonna have the PS5 on the spine. No more PS4 stuff is coming in this house. I'm sorry. I don't know how people feel about it, but I just know I'll pay the extra $10 for the cover. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just how I get down. I'm not no Sony fanboy, but y'all look at it. It's white. It's beautiful. It's not blue no more. It's not blue, man. I don't know. Like, no, it's horrible for real. And I ought to be ashamed of myself for buying it, but it seemed like if I buy the PS4 version, it's gonna do like probably what Uncharted did. Like, you probably would have the availability to upgrade it to the PS5 version, but that's digital, and I don't like digital stuff.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
I don't feel like my game's digital
It's
either.
a physical thing.
And if I'm gonna pay for a physical version, let it be on PS5. I know I shouldn't pay the extra 10, but I'm paying. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's be real here. This is them take advantage of the uninformed on PlayStation. People go with a PS5 and see a PS5 version and just assume that's the version they have to get. They're not expecting that they can buy that version and get an upgrade for free. I think it's wrong, man. And you know what's funny? Nobody talking about it. Nobody. I bet you will see podcast after podcast. Very few people will talk about it this week. I haven't really seen no media cover it. Like, it's crazy the amount of stuff that this company gets away with. Like, so much anti-consumer stuff.
Addict, that's because we confused in the message. And I think everybody's confused about it, to be completely honest with you. Like, this it's a whole lot going on over there at PlayStation. And you're right, the media should cover this more.
It's just
but what's up?
I just feel like when it comes to PlayStation, like, Xbox would get a lot of, like, they don't get a whole lot of highlight of stuff they do, but when PlayStation does crazy stuff like this, like, I feel like it just goes over everyone's head. No one really talks about it. In a couple days, it's over. Like, I'm not saying that, like, $10, like, let's be real here. $10 isn't a lot of money. It's not. Mm-hmm. It's the principle behind the matter. It's like, look, like, I shouldn't have to pay $10, like I've said on ILP, to use features on a PlayStation controller that you sold me marketing the console. And it's just like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't care about the $10 hike. Like, charge $70. Like, I don't care about that. Like, I'm one of the people that I don't want it to happen, but I understand if I'm paying $3 extra for some soda at the store for a 12-pack, why do it? And we paid $60 for games for like 15 years. So it's just like, look, if they want to raise it, I don't want them to, but I'm not going to like really attack anyone for it. But it's just like, if you bought games on the PS4, they just need to naturally give you the PS5 version. And then what's funny is this is just a temporarily thing, because sooner or later people are only going to buy PS5 versions. So they're getting all this bad publicity, which, like, we just really focus what kind of bad publicity they really get. No one's really talking about it. But they do get some bad publicity. Like, big outlets do cover it from time to time. And sometimes they'll cover it and then it'll just go away in a couple hours. But they're getting all this type of bad publicity for what? A couple years of gaining $10 on games?
What they're doing is they're training the PlayStation community to accept $70 for games in the future. Man. When PS5, they're just putting games out on PS5, likely after this year, because we don't know of any other PS4 games that they're doing first party beyond 2022. But I've always said this. I've always said that value is subjective. What someone else would pay for, say, a sports game, NBA 2K. I wouldn't pay $1 for NBA 2K because I don't care, right?
Yeah.
But if they were selling it for $1, that's a major steal for people who love that game. If Square Enix came out with a Chrono Trigger remake, I shudder to talk about like what price I would pay to play that. Like, it would be far above what the normal price is, because like so all this stuff is always subjective. Like, you have to look at it and be like, is this worth $70 to me? But in regards to this situation, I knew they were going to do this. I knew that when they came out and said that we will honor what we said before about giving a free upgrade for Horizon Forbidden West, instead of just making it, as Alex said, just 60 bones across the board, they're still doing 70 for the. I knew there was going to be some tomfoolery here. I knew there was going to be, because like I actually decided, let me go ahead, like, oh, I'm already getting the game. Let me just jump on PlayStation. I hear that you can pre-download it. Let me jump on here on my PS5, get that pre-download going. I go into the store and I'm like, wait, hold up. So which one is the PS4 version? I'm not giving them $10 extra for what, right? So I'm like, which one? And I've been all digital for forever. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out. I just decided, you know what? I just jumped on their web page and just did it from the web page instead. And so it's just like the fact that I had to do all that. I was just sitting back like, they really tried to get a brother. They try to catch me lacking. I'm sitting here trying to figure out. And really, if you know what the actual free up that you can get a free upgrade, all you gotta do is just make sure whichever version you put into the cart is the version that says $60. But the fact that they put, I think they put PS4 and PS5 on both of them, so it's like for both the PS4 version and PS5 version, when normally if there's a PS4 version of a game, it just says PS4. It doesn't say PS5 there. So it's just like that kind of foolishness is like, I know what you were doing there. You decided, let's confuse some people. And maybe they won't know, and maybe they won't realize that they bought the wrong version, or maybe, like as you guys have mentioned before, that like they're completely uninformed about the fact that there's supposed to be a free upgrade, and they just don't know that they could have got it.
I'm willing to bet that's a lot of people.
It's going to be a ton of people like that. Yeah, the vast majority of people who buy this game, the millions who will buy this game, aren't going to know the things that we know as the hardcore gamers.
And people are saying like the deluxe edition come with both. I'm like, why do you need both? Like, if you buy the deluxe edition, like,
that's pointless. Yeah.
I did want to say this though. We mentioned this about the Metacritic thing, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Addict, you're right. we probably won't hear an IG. Well, I won't be clear because it's not my platform. We may not hear another major outlet even speak on that. But even if they just go out their way to clarify what could be going on to the average consumer, because like I ain't finna hold you, I've been keeping up with a lot of it.
Or just make an article explaining it, like what you need to get, what you don't need to get. Like, I mean, they might. I'm not gonna say companies aren't making these articles. I'm just not seeing them.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, well, just say for the sake of the argument, let's say they're not. Let's say that they're not being responsible. Let's say they're not doing that. But I probably had it out the back of my mind because I wasn't even going to get the $60 or $70 version. I was going to spend $200 on it. I mean, I think I told you that before the podcast, or maybe at the very beginning. I was going to drop the $2 on it for the collector's edition. I ain't about to do that now, though. But I will go spend the $70, which, man, look, ain't none of that going to sit right. Slow-mo, earlier in this conversation, you said, hey, I think you said starting next year will be the cutoff date for the PS5.
That's the way it's looking because they haven't announced. They're going to announce more games this year, of course. But as of now, they have not announced any games outside of 2022 that are going to be PS4. They're going to be on the PS4. That's first party.
Well, Slow-mo, I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Like, it might not be difficult for us to get a PS5, but it's difficult for the average consumer
it took me a long time.
PS5.
Like, I would sit in those queues over and over again, no luck. I really had to struggle for my PS5. And if it wasn't for Kid Smooth selling me his PS5, I don't think I'd have got one.
And you know, and that's the other thing that we really gotta like be aware of. We're gonna see the stop of PS4 because they're still making PS4s. And they actually announced that they were still gonna be making PS4s. So God of War, I got a feeling the next 4 major IPs are still being on there. They assume that they're dropping the next 2 or 3 years. Whatever they announce for Naughty Dog, like the new IP that they're supposed to be working on, that probably might be the first one. You understand what I'm saying? Because like just this generation, first of all, this generation is going to be, I have a feeling, and just prediction, got my fingers crossed, whatever. I think that this generation is going to be a repeat of the Xbox 360 and PS3 and Wii due to the semiconductor shortage. I think it's really going to be that because you can't find nothing out there. You can find Nintendo Switches out there, oddly enough. You could find those.
Well, I mean, the hardware in those is so outdated. I mean, like,
and them joints doing gangbusters. Them joints just sold over 100 million, dog. Like it is what it is. But you can still find those with basically ease. So you can still find them. But the the new Xboxes, you can probably get you a Series S, but you can't get a Series X easily. You can't get a PS5 digital or physical easy. So I mean, it's gonna be here until it ain't here. Let me just say that. But I think it's gonna be about 8 years.
So you think like when they do their conferences or maybe one conference this year, whatever Sony does, that they're gonna when they announce new games, they won't announce it because you know how they did their one showcase where they only said the way they phrased it, everything was PS5. And then later on, we found out those games are going to PS4 as well. But you think that at some point we'll find out like whatever new things they're announcing are going to be going to PS4 as well?
Oh, 1,000%. And it's not their fault. It's the worldwide shortage. It ain't really nothing they could do about it. And like people can't really get upset behind it either. Like
the wild thing is that remember, like, was it a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, when everyone was getting on Xbox for saying that they were supporting last gen for 2 more years? They're now no longer supporting last gen. Redfall and Starfield are only Xbox Series games. Everything else that's coming out for Xbox first party, well, maybe not. If this Activision deal goes through, then that probably will change for them because you know how they are with Call of Duty. That thing goes on everything until like the wheels fall off your console. But everything else is going to be all current gen. It's funny how like people were just acted like that was the worst thing in the world. You're holding the games back. You're holding the devs back. And now it's the complete opposite. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I do understand that. When it comes down to this, it's just like PlayStation do better. Or that's pretty much the only thing really could be said. It's like, look, if your people, because I personally feel like all this is doing is punishing early adopters. So it's just like you punish the people that support your brand from the start. Like I feel like that's a smack in the face, man. I really do. But that's pretty much the whole show, man. But let's go ahead. Hustle. What is going on? What are you doing this week?
Well, outside of the family stuff that we spoke about behind the scenes, helping my people with that, some family stuff. Hopefully, I would like to say next week, I should be back on somewhat of a consistent schedule streaming. The YouTube stuff definitely gonna come back up. It's gonna be some retro stuff. It's gonna be some new stuff. Gonna be some old stuff. Gonna be some new stuff. I'm gonna take some different chances with my channel. I just want to have some fun. We spoke about character bios and all that stuff before, so I'm getting all that together and just running. I will be playing Horizon Zero Dawn like before I get the second one. So first and foremost, man, we're gonna see if it's boring in that. It says about 23, 24 hours to beat, so I'm gonna make sure I run through that. And that's what I'm on this week. Addict, how about you, kind sir?
Well,
before we get to our esteemed guest,
so Slow-Mo, what's that podcast that you be doing? On
how about that?
What's that podcast?
Oh yeah, I do have a podcast. Yeah. So Damage Per Second podcast with the homie Gaming Forte. We do that. We trade all back and forth between our two channels every week. This week is going to be on Gaming Forte's channel. It's Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a two-man show. Usually, every now and then we'll get someone else in. Addict dropped in on us last week. We talked about seafood with us for a little bit, but usually just the dynamic duo doing our thing, much like you two guys here, and we have a good time. So yeah, come check us out this Thursday.
And then you guys know where to catch me every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Iron Lords podcast, and the same channel you're currently watching this on. Definitely go subscribe to the Gaming Addict channel. I've been putting up videos. I'm going to put up a video tomorrow. Probably going to make some people mad, but it is what it is. I'm used to that.
Oh, man.
Definitely go to the ILP Twitch channel, because now I'm starting to get a lot of the stuff finalized with that. We had to really find out what we wanted to do with that before we actually committed anything to it. So I got all that taken care of. So we're probably going to be picking up Twitch a couple days a week, playing games that you guys like. I do want to make a State of Decay video, so I'll probably stream Twitch over there for a little bit and take the gameplay and figure out what kind of content I want to make on that. So that's probably that's probably what I'm going to do there. I'm going to stream because I want to start making videos dedicated to certain games, like, what they could do, what they can't do, why I didn't like it. Just, general ideals in general. So definitely follow the Twitch channel. Hustle has put it in the chat a couple times, so I appreciate that, Hustle. And, follow us on Twitter, man. Mine's Lord Addict ILP. Hustle is Hustle and Motivate. Exactly how his name is spelled. And Slow-Mo is exactly how his name is spelled, I'm pretty sure. I'll put them all in the description. Yep. But definitely go follow us on Twitter. Probably here in the next couple channel. Yeah, probably here in the next couple weeks we will be redesigning the Lord oh my gosh, the Addict show artwork will be probably done, so hopefully that will be done. And, I appreciate everyone coming through, man. We had 280, 90 people here at one time. Definitely hit that like button when you guys leave, man. Appreciate the outcome. It was a great outcome.
Let me say something before we go at it, if you don't mind. Y'all make sure y'all follow Slow-Mo Backslap. Follow Gaming Forte as well, but you make sure you follow Slow-Mo, man. Slow-Mo, it's like a family reunion to me, man. Back in them Scumpass days. No, but you've always been extremely insightful in terms of your content, man.
Thank you.
That needs to be pushed a hell of a lot more. Not these, and not to shit on nobody.
I got a very, very interesting video coming out this week. It's going to be about. I'm changing up my content just a little bit, right? And I'm doing a video about hair in games.
Okay.
In particular, black hair in games, in video games as well, and how sometimes the quality of the hair of these characters in games is a little subpar compared to everything else, and it's going to get deep into the process of how hair is made in video games, why it isn't as good as it is, and just a lot of different stuff and things that I've tried out and actually tested out myself. So it's going to be pretty in depth. I'll hopefully have it done within maybe tomorrow or the day after, but yeah.
Okay. Well, we look forward to that for sure, man. For sure, definitely.
Yeah, so it's like I said, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, I'm gonna get Slow-Mo back with Forte because I do want that DPS, and I feel like that's just happening.
I would have loved to. Yeah.
So we'll work on that in the future. I do have a couple more guests. I'll probably try to keep it next week with just me and Hustle. I'm trying to to still maintain this as a dual show, like we're not having